We've all been there, replaying mistakes, carrying the weight of guilt, and feeling trapped by our own minds. The harder we try to shake it off, the tighter it seems to cling. But let me make one thing clear. Forgiving yourself isn't about pretending nothing happened. It's not about erasing the past. It's about reclaiming your strength and using what you've learned to move forward. Forgiveness is the ultimate act of courage, and it begins with you. This isn't a conversation about pity, and it's not about excuses. It's about making a decision to take back control of your life. You can either stay stuck in the shadow of your mistakes or step into the light of what's possible. Today, we're focusing on the latter. Forgiving yourself is not about erasing the past or pretending it never happened. It's about making a choice, a deliberate and powerful choice, to stop punishing yourself for what's already done. Mistakes, failures, and wrong turns are part of being human. They don't define who you are unless you let them. Forgiving yourself means deciding to take control of the narrative. It's about saying, "This moment in my life does not own me. I own it, and I will rise above it." Let's clear up a common misunderstanding right away. Forgiveness is not the same as forgetting. You're not here to sweep things under the rug or ignore the lessons that come with mistakes. In fact, true forgiveness requires you to confront what happened head-on. It's about facing the truth, no matter how uncomfortable it is, and saying, "Yes, this happened. Yes, I made a mistake. But it does not define the person I choose to be today." Forgiveness isn't an escape from accountability. It's an opportunity to rewrite the future. Another myth we need to bust is the idea that forgiving yourself means you're weak. Strength isn't found in carrying guilt like a badge of honor. Strength is in the ability to let go. Imagine holding onto a heavy weight. The longer you carry it, the more it drags you down, slows your steps, and makes every move harder than it needs to be. Forgiveness is about setting that weight down, freeing your hands and your heart to focus on the things that truly matter. Forgiveness doesn't mean you're condoning what happened. It's not about saying, "What I did was fine." It's about recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and that the value of a mistake lies in the lesson it offers. Mistakes are not final judgments. They are teachers. Forgiveness is the process of acknowledging the mistake, extracting the lesson, and then allowing yourself to grow from it. Think of forgiveness as a clean slate, not one that erases the past, but one that allows you to write a new story on top of it. The past will always be there, but it doesn't have to control you. Forgiveness is a way of saying, "I accept what has been, and I choose to shape what will be." It's a shift in focus, from what you cannot change to what you can create moving forward. To forgive yourself is to show yourself compassion. If someone else made the same mistake, you might be quick to encourage them to move on, to remind them they're only human. Yet, when it comes to our own mistakes, we often refuse to give ourselves that same grace. Why? Because it feels easier to hold on to guilt than to face the responsibility of growth. But the truth is, growth begins with forgiveness. So remember this: forgiving yourself isn't about excusing the past. It's about empowering your future. It's about freeing yourself from the cycle of regret and choosing every day to be the person you are capable of becoming. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is strength, it is wisdom, and it is freedom. Guilt has a way of taking root in our minds, making us believe it's something we're supposed to carry. For many, guilt feels like a form of penance, a punishment we impose on ourselves as a way to show remorse. But guilt is not meant to define you. It's meant to alert you, like a flashing light on a dashboard, that something needs attention. The mistake comes when you treat guilt as a life sentence instead of a signal. At its core, guilt thrives on the belief that you deserve to feel bad. It whispers that if you hold on tightly enough to your regret, you'll somehow balance the scales. But what does holding on to guilt really achieve? Does it undo the past? Does it fix what went wrong? Number, all it does is keep you tethered to something you can't change, draining your energy and focus from everything you can change. Sometimes guilt disguises itself as care. You may think, if I let this go, it means I don't care about what happened or the people it affected. But caring doesn't come from clinging to guilt. It comes from your actions. How you show up now, how you grow, and how you commit to doing better in the future are what truly reflect your care. Guilt is passive. Growth is active. Another common excuse is the belief that guilt is a reminder to stay vigilant, that letting go might lead to repeating the same mistake. But here's the truth. Awareness, not guilt, prevents repetition. Guilt only keeps you locked in fear and self-doubt, while awareness equips you to act with wisdom and clarity. The more you cling to guilt, the less space you have to build the confidence and courage needed to do better. Holding on to guilt is like keeping a stone in your shoe. You may think you deserve the discomfort, but all it does is slow you down. The real power lies in taking the stone out, learning to walk with more intention, and moving forward unburdened. Step 1. Acknowledge and own it. Forgiving yourself begins with honesty, real, unflinching honesty. You cannot let go of what you refuse to face. Denial might feel easier in the moment, but it only prolongs the pain. To move forward, you must acknowledge what happened, admit your role, and confront the truth without excuses or blame shifting. Say it to yourself. Yes, I did this. Own your actions. Take responsibility. Not to shame yourself, but to release the grip that denial has over your life. Responsibility is not the same as shame. Responsibility is empowering because it gives you control over how you respond and grow. Shame, on the other hand, traps you in a cycle of self-loathing and regret. When you take responsibility, you're not saying, "This defines me." You're saying, "I acknowledge what happened, and I am ready to change." It's an act of courage, a declaration that you refuse to let the past hold you hostage. Acknowledge what you did, and more importantly, acknowledge the impact it had. Maybe it caused harm, disappointment, or a missed opportunity. Whatever it is, face it head on. By admitting your role, you begin the process of loosening guilt's grip. Pretending it didn't happen or minimizing its significance only adds weight to the burden you're carrying. Honesty is the foundation of forgiveness, and it starts here. Step 2, learn the lesson. Once you've acknowledged what happened, the next step is to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Mistakes are inevitable, but they are not the end of the story unless you choose to let them be. Every mistake carries a lesson, an opportunity to grow and do better. The key is to shift your focus from self-punishment to self-improvement. Instead of asking, "Why did I do that?" ask, "What can I do differently next time?" The first question keeps you stuck in regret, while the second propels you toward growth. Mistakes are not failures unless you refuse to learn from them. When you see them as teachers, rather than setbacks, you unlock their potential to make you wiser, stronger, and more resilient. Let's use a simple example. Imagine missing an important deadline. At first, you might feel angry with yourself, replaying every step that led to the mistake. But staying in that loop solves nothing. Instead, ask, what went wrong? Maybe you didn't plan your time effectively. Now ask, what can I change? Perhaps you need to set reminders or break tasks into smaller steps. By identifying the lesson, you've transformed a mistake into a stepping stone for future success. Or consider a situation where you said something that hurt someone's feelings. Acknowledge the harm, but don't dwell in guilt. Instead, ask, how can I communicate better next time? Maybe the lesson is to think before you speak, or to express yourself with more empathy. Whatever the lesson, focus on applying it to your future actions. This is how you grow, by turning your past into a guide for your future. Mistakes are not the end of the road. They are detours that can lead you to greater self-awareness. The lesson is always there if you're willing to look for it. Learning from your mistakes doesn't erase them, but it ensures they serve a purpose. Step 3. Let go and move forward. Now comes the final step, letting go. This is where you release the guilt, shame, and regret that have been weighing you down. What happened is done. You cannot change it, no matter how much you replay it in your mind. But what you can change is how you let it shape your life moving forward. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or dismissing the past. It means deciding not to let it control you. It's about breaking free from the cycle of self-punishment and choosing to focus on the possibilities ahead. One way to start is by physically releasing what you're holding on to. Write down your mistake on a piece of paper and then destroy it. Rip it up, burn it, or throw it away. This simple act symbolizes the decision to let go and make space for new beginnings. Affirmations can also be a powerful tool. Repeat to yourself, "I am allowed to grow from my mistakes," or "I release the past and focus on the future." These statements are not just words. They are reminders that you have the power to choose a different path. Speak them until you believe them, and let them guide your thoughts towards self-compassion. Rebuilding trust with yourself is another important part of moving forward. Set small, achievable goals that align with the lessons you've learned. Each goal you meet is a step toward restoring your confidence and proving to yourself that you are capable of growth. Most importantly, stop reliving the past. Each time you catch yourself replaying what happened, remind yourself, that chapter is closed. I am writing a new one now. The more you focus on the past, the less energy you have for the present, and the present is where change happens. Letting go is not a single moment, it's a practice. It's a choice you make every day to release what no longer serves you and to step into the person you are becoming. Acknowledge what happened, learn from it, then let it go. These 3 steps are simple in concept, but require courage and commitment to put into practice. Forgiving yourself isn't about taking the easy way out, it's about taking the brave way forward. Each step is a declaration of your strength. By acknowledging the truth, you face what most people would rather avoid. By learning the lesson, you turn your mistakes into tools for growth. And by letting go, you free yourself to live the life you deserve. Remember, forgiveness is not about erasing the past. It's about shaping the future. You are more than your mistakes. You are capable of growth, transformation, and greatness. The decision to forgive yourself is the decision to embrace your own potential. And that, above all else, is what makes you unstoppable. Forgiving yourself is not an instant transformation. It's a journey that starts with a single decision: to stop carrying the weight of guilt and begin living freely. Choose today to take that first step. Your future is waiting, full of potential, ready to be shaped by your courage and determination. Remember, you are stronger than your mistakes. Forgive yourself, move forward, and embrace the person you are becoming, because you deserve nothing less. The next chapter starts now, and it's yours to write.